thank you for joining me today in this topic of trade lines, which is within our series of demystifying the mortgage process for buying a house. Trade lines is basically a mortgage industry term that defines an account. Examples of trade lines are credit cards, student loan, auto loan. Those are the main accounts that I know that show up on the credit report that are viewed as trade lines. Now, what lenders look for is how long you had this trade line, how many times have you been late, and the longer that you have trade lines, like I said, at least over 2 years, and longer, the better and more established your credit history is. What I'm going to speak about, well, I can speak about it now because trade line is such a small topic, the importance of credit cards. Now, I know credit cards have a real bad negative connotation. No, if I get credit cards, it's going to make my credit bad and max them out. But I want to educate you that credit cards come to you with a zero balance. I have not heard of anybody receiving a credit card that was maxed out. You're going to have to maintain the discipline to keep that balance virtually zero. And I'm going to give you some tips on how. What I did when I was in college, I would get those letters in the mail. Everybody gets them. I would fill it out to see if I get approved for this credit card. And I did. And I think it started me out like maybe $500 at the time. And what I did was I would buy groceries and gas with my credit card, and of course the bill came 30 to 45 days later at that time, and when it came I would pay the bill in full, so that way I never paid any interest. And I did this all the time. Well, actually what I kept doing was getting more credit cards, and when I would get more credit cards, what I would do is I would use credit card B instead of credit card A, and then each time I go to the grocery store, I use credit card C, so on and so forth. And the longer I kept doing this, the more credit cards I had received. I think by the time I left college, I had like 8 credit cards. But the other thing is that my limits kept increasing because I maintained good standing through the length of time that I had these credit cards. So I would get a letter in the mail, hey, we just increased your limit another $1,000. Hey, we just increased your limit another $1,500. So on and so forth. And then the credit cards I started getting in the future, the limit started off at like $3,000-4,000. And I don't even think I had a technical job yet at the time. I don't remember. I don't believe so. And so what you can do, and it's kind of like a test. If you can't be faithful and a good steward over this little amount of responsibility, from which is $500 to $4,000, whatever your credit limit is for that particular credit card, why would a lender want to give you this $100,000 mortgage to make you responsible for if you can't even be if you're irresponsible with a $500 credit card? It's just not going to work. So I think that's kind of the test that they do to see how are you with using this little bit. So that's why they look at trade lines to, judge these different things to see, okay, how long have you had these different accounts, and have you kept them in good standing? And if you have, then after, I guess, 2 years of having all these different accounts for X number of time, they say, okay, this person has established credit history. And then, of course, they take your credit score into account and go on. We just covered how to establish your credit history using credit cards to your advantage. I hope you learned something from this process. Thank you for listening to this topic. Please check out the other topics within the series of demystifying the mortgage process for buying a home.